So this is a video about Advanced League in FanWar, which is a league usually that comes after you've played in the Basic League. Advanced League is different from Basic League in several ways. Mainly its complexity. In the Basic League, there's really only about 5 rules you need to know. It's very combat-based and simple for players to learn, and that's why it's designed that way. Players learn all the basic rules, and then they move up to advanced if they're interested in that level of complexity. Some people are not. Some people prefer to stay in basic. It's more fun for them. But Advanced League, as it sounds, is advanced. There are quite a number of skills. There are 30 basic skills you'd have to learn, as spells and abilities, and then there's even more custom skills that can be created by mages, and so you're always having to be paying attention in Advanced League to spells and abilities as they're being created. The GM has a great deal more explaining to do. One of the key things that's different in Advanced League from Basic is that players play characters. They don't just play citizens in a town, somebody with a sword going out to defend the city. They're a specific person. They are an elven warrior named Greenleaf, who is going out to protect the city. And Greenleaf, this imaginary elven warrior that this person is playing, is gaining experiences. They're playing this character with a particular dramatic flair, perhaps. Perhaps Greenleaf really enjoys being in the woods and really doesn't like orcs very much, and they take on much more of that character. Also, in the Advanced League, characters level up. What leveling up means is that a character is gaining experience. They're getting better at whatever it is that they do. So, as characters level up, they gain more and more abilities. For example, usually a character will go through the first 5 levels without a really big change in their ability to do anything, but when they reach level 6, that's when they join a class, and they might become a wizard at that point, and they can shoot fireball or a flame ray, or they might become a more powerful warrior, decide to become a barbarian and be able to hack with axes and things. So every time they go to an event, they get a level, and they keep track of those levels as they go along, and their character becomes more and more powerful. So unlike Basic, where you play that someone for the day and then you're done with them, you start fresh again the next time, in Advanced you're continuing the same character at every event, advancing them further and further along. So in Advanced League, there are items that you can acquire that allow you to have special abilities, and you can trade amongst each other. There's also gold and a monetary system in Advanced League. Characters keep track of how much gold their characters have. They can buy and sell things between each other. They can buy and sell things from the town. They can customize their characters. So in the Basic League, you have one equipment set and that's all you use. But in the Advanced League, you can customize your character, buy extra equipment sets, use some of it, a little of it, trade it with your friends. So it's a very customizable kind of a league where characters are created by players, and the players can customize and design their character to be just the way that they'd like within the confines of their income. Of course, they may not have enough money to do what they want. Other things that are different about Advanced than Basic is the types of monsters you tend to run into. In Basic, we keep it pretty simple. You run into usually only the main types of monsters, except in extreme situations. In Advanced, since you're taking on much bigger and harder missions, you're encountering a lot more specific types of creatures, a lot more undead, a lot more things that have special abilities that you have to learn as you go along. So the game is quite a bit more complex, and since everyone's playing their own characters, sometimes you have to deduce the motives of individual characters in their group. Not everyone is working for the same team, so to speak, and you have to figure out what's going on. There's a lot more riddle decoding in Advanced. Sometimes there's a lot more people trying to figure out what prophecies they've discovered, different types of clues that they've uncovered, and trying to link them all together. So there's a certain amount of risk involved, and that's not for everybody. Some people prefer to play in a league like Basic, where they have nothing really to lose and they can just have a good deal of fun. But for some people, it's the risk that makes it fun. The danger, knowing that there's a real risk behind that character dying at that moment. Now, Basic and Advanced sort of work in tandem. They usually work together. Basic, it's not that Basic doesn't deal with plot, but that the plot that they deal with is somewhat more of in a simple level, and they're sort of helping out Advanced to get the pieces that they need. often it's too dangerous for Advanced League to go off on a mission, because if they die, all their characters would be lost. So sending out a whole bunch of Basic League players to go deal with something is sometimes advantageous and much less of a risk, and they can get things done that then assist the Advanced League players in solving what they need to solve. Other things that are different in Advanced than Basic League is the caliber of the players themselves. So to get into Advanced League, you don't just have to know Basic League really well and know the rules really well, but you have to be really a team player. Because in Basic League, everyone is playing as a team. It's sort of a forced cooperation in that we're all playing citizens of a town. But in Advanced League, everyone's playing an individual. And so in order to be in that league, there has to be a level of trust amongst all the players, that we know that we're all here to make the game work and to help each other out and to play with a certain amount of command. So players are expected to know the rules. They're expected to help each other out and expected to listen and follow directions well, because of the complexity of the plot. If you're not listening to the game, often you lose sight of the whole plot line, and the whole mission fails. So you're expected to be a much more mature individual to be in the Advanced League. It isn't an age discrimination. It isn't about being a certain age usually, although on the whole, players tend to be older when they're in Advanced League. But it has much more to do with the way that you play the game. If you tend to pay attention, if you know what to do, and if you're following the directions that you're given.